Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a Ways and Means meeting in this room. If you're not interested in the Ways and Means, if you don't mind, take your conversations out to the hall. Senator Hill, you ready on Senate Resolution 875? Now, this, by the way, members of the committee, this will be a first reading and assignment of these bills to the subcommittee, in which place we will take appropriate action pretty quickly. Obviously, we don't have much time left, and we will have subcommittee work begins on Monday, and the final meeting of this committee will be next Thursday. So, Senator Hill, Senate Resolution 875.
I have a written summary if you want it, Mr. Chairman, and I'll just take a couple minutes to give you the...
Mr. Chairman, if you would, really the purpose of this meeting is just to give the members a quick overview of what's going on. All the detail and stuff like that will be done in subcommittee.
Well, there's a very basic reason for the resolution. We funded in this year's amended budget 3 different true-ups of tax digest issues for school systems around the state. They were all different. They weren't all the same. One of them included a payment in lieu of taxes issue. It's become apparent over the years to me, and to not to reveal a private conversation, but your chairman and I have had some conversations about it, that we don't really have much of a policy about what do we do when a school system says our tax digest wasn't correct and we want to, you owe us, because they've already distributed the school funds, you owe us X amount of dollars. So what this commission is going to do, what this committee is going to do, is to examine what we've been doing and try to come up with some policy so that from here on we'll know exactly how we're going to handle these types of issues. And we understand there's umpteen kinds of pilot of payment in lieu of taxes programs, some of which are phased in and those kinds of things. So what we want to try to do is to be sure that when the tax digest flows through, it is treated equally in both the distribution of equalization as well as local fair share as well. There seems to be some inconsistencies there as we look back, but we have these every year, and what finally happens is we usually will fund them because of the legislator involved, not because we think it's a good piece of policy. So I just think it's time, and I hope Chairman England agrees, that it's time to let's look at it, understand it, set some policy, and go forward.
Thank you. Any questions at all to the bill or any member of this committee? See none. Chairman Hill, this will be an ad valorem subcommittee.
Okay.
They will contact you or your office and let you know what time and all that sort of thing the subcommittee will be meeting on Monday.
Right. Thank you very much, members of the committee. Mr. Chairman.
Senate Resolution 1027, Senator Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I bring before you just a very simple joint study committee resolution to explore SPLOST reform. The joint study committee will have 17 members. They're allowed to have no more than 5 committee meetings, and they must file a final report and recommendations by December 1st of 2014. The reason we're doing this is just, a lot of local governments are interested in, fractionalized SPLOST. We've got school systems that want to look at being able to use SPLOST revenues other than capital construction. Some local governments want to have options to work with other counties and governments on regional projects. And so I just think that we need to, if we're going to have any kind of reforms, we need to have a unified process since these changes would affect others. So that's why we're doing this, just to look at it and make sure that we're doing the right thing with SPLOST. So I ask for your consideration.
Any member of the committee have a question of the author? It will be in the sales tax subcommittee.
Okay.
I'll contact your office first part of the week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Members of the committee.
Senate Resolution 415 is Senator David Schaefer. Representative Peake will be his designee to explain the bill.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Senate Resolution 415 by Senator Schaefer. It's basically a constitutional amendment that for all practical purposes, says the rate of the state income tax will not be raised above what is already in place. That's the guts of the bill.
Questions? Senator Schaefer's designee by any member of this committee? Hearing none, the bill goes to Income Tax Subcommittee. Senate Resolution 783. Senator Bill Heath, his designee is Representative John Cosson. Explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Resolution 783, what this basically does is propose a constitutional amendment on the ballot to essentially eliminate state ad valorem taxes. This, again, would not affect public utilities and railroad companies and airlines and so forth. It would not obviously affect county governments, but we're talking about phasing out the state ad valorem taxes.
Any questions of the designee by any member of this committee? Yes, sir. 25. Yes, Representative Battle. I'm sorry, Representative Black.
Do you know whether or not if the state doesn't collect that $250,000, whether it would impact the authority of the state to require the local boards to have their digest set at a certain, they auditor them and require them to be within?
I do not know. I'd have to get with the author first, and as well as make sure we have a fiscal note on this.
As long as we're having to deal with equalization for education funding, it's extremely important that these digests be within a degree of equality. So that issue needs to be addressed.
I understand.
Any further questions of the designee? Again, it goes income tax. I'm sorry. Ad valorem tax. I'm sorry. Ad valorem tax subcommittee. Any member have any other further business come before this meeting? Not, we adjourn. Thank you. Thank you.